Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Game and Compute. Here I talk about a lot of digital marketing related types of projects based on sales of types of items that I kind of like and things that I've kind of researched. So I'll just let you know, for those of you who don't know me, I'm totally into the whole side hustle life. I work you could call it a 9 to 5, but I work technically an 8 to 4, full-time job, 40 hours a week. Rarely overtime at this point with this site. Not this current game and compute site. I'm talking about my day job. So that's pretty stable and consistent for me. And I don't know. So I'm going to talk here about some of my strategies as I go along. Of course, I'm not giving away all my secrets and things, but let me talk in general, right? And I'll start talking more and more in detail as time goes along, as my projects get more and more solidified. So game and compute basically came of this idea of things that I know, that I like, that I could research and, do some retail arbitrage and some reselling and some tinkering around, repairs on things and reselling and stuff like that. So I'll tell you the general kind of three categories that I have right now. So collector souvenirs, that's one category. Another category is gaming laptops, or just pretty much anything that has to do with online gaming, PC gaming, right now, but mostly gaming laptops, but that always translates to desktops, and it can also translate to online accounts like Steam and things like that. I also am very interested in cards, like trading cards, playing cards. Not specifically these that I'm gonna mention, but like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, things like that. And so yeah, so I can tell you, so overall with the souvenirs, I have an interest in banknotes from other countries. So mostly banknotes that are not circulated banknotes, meaning that they haven't been used in the population in circulation, but they've been collected by people, and people can trade them or sell them or whatever, but they haven't been used in circulation. And so when it comes to those types of items, I mostly notice that people look at things like UV. They do like a UV test to see if there's a lot of like fingerprints and like oils and fluid type things that have ever touched the bill, the dollar bill, the money. And so if you notice that there's a lot of that on there, if there's a lot of residue and just leftover oils and stuff, then it's probably been touched a lot. The ones that haven't been touched as much usually won't have that show up in a UV light kind of test. And also one thing to pay attention to is certifications. So when it comes to these types of bills, you can buy them actually off of just like a souvenir site that comes like already in a plastic packaged unopened with a certificate that you can just buy. But those usually run maybe like $135 to $138 versus the ones I can buy off eBay if I research them properly. They sell between $70 and $90 right now. So each bill for me right now, I'm looking at maybe a $20 profit. So that's not a lot, but if I buy 5 of them, that's $100. So drop nearly $500 to make $100. I mean, $100 profit. That's not a bad day's work, really. So the way I would get money for something like that would be just kind of either my own kind of like buying and reselling small stuff, or doing some driving. If you look at driving, like, what do you call it? Like delivery driving, things like that. Like, Postmates and that kind of stuff, like food deliveries. Those would be the main ways to get extra money, or just from my own daytime job paycheck, taking out a portion of that and just flipping it for a profit. So that's one thing. That's one tip I would recommend is, know your market, know what items people are looking for, know the fluctuation. So that's one thing I want to mention with the souvenir type of reselling, is the fluctuations. So this specific item that I sell, it fluctuates. It fluctuates within the year. Sometimes I can buy them as low as like $50, $54 per bill. And then other times, like right now, like $90 per bill wouldn't be a bad amount to spend on average. Like you can get them for cheaper, but if you don't really shop around, like $90. So there is potential, if you're patient, to really, for this product, for some products that might even be similar with these uncirculated bills, is to buy them cheaper at a certain time of year. But if you're trying to hit the holidays, which is another tip I have for right now, trying to hit the holidays, you want to buy stuff before Thanksgiving. I know people want to do Thanksgiving and they want to do Black Friday, and they want to do, Cyber Monday, and they want to do Christmas shopping time. The problem with that can be, and it's not always, but one thing that I want to mention is that different markets get oversaturated. Different markets get, so say for example, today say if I was going to go buy like Pokemon cards, for example, a couple booster pack decks and some brand new like giant, like extra decks of some sort, whatever, say I was going to just go Pokemon card shopping. I might buy the cards. I might buy, make it like a set, right? Buy some unopened booster packs that might make, if I'm going to make a $10 to $20 profit, I feel like that's kind of worth it, on one item. And so say if I purchased a couple of those, I could sell it as like some of them unopened, completely unopened. If I can resell it for like 10 to 20 extra dollar profit. And then some of the stuff that I might end up opening, so things that seem like damaged, I might end up just opening it anyways, just because it's like, it's already damaged. So, if it, like, compared to what prices look like online, I'd want to check, is this damaged? How much can it sell for? Like, maybe the items aren't damaged, but the boxing is what I'm talking about. The packaging. Some people want perfect plastic and perfect cardboard and no scuffs and no ripped plastic, nothing, So, that's one thing I would pay attention to, is what are we seeing when we look at those packages? Are they brand new? Are they something we can work with? And most of the time the answer is going to be yes. Sometimes you'll notice everything is sold except for one dented box. Another thing to pay attention to is what is selling. So I like to take a little video clip or pictures in the little section, say where there's Pokemon cards. I like to take a little video clip of what was there when I was searching. So tonight's Sunday. I was in the store nearly 5 p.m. or so, on a Sunday, meaning they're not getting a shipment on a Sunday. So it's kind of a good time to check and see what have people been buying. And while I'm there, and I do this for things that I'm buying in a store. So I'm at Target, in the card section, in the Pokemon card section, looking on eBay. Usually eBay is like one of the best market research tools. I'm sorry to say, but it is. You can get real-time information on competition right then and there. And it's not 100% foolproof. It's not 100% like you're gonna make a profit. It's not like set in stone, but you can kind of get an idea of where your money's gonna go. Say if I spend $40 on a booster pack, there's like a giant set of like, I don't know, like 100 cards or something. And that booster pack costs $40, and I look online and the same one, this unopened, the same pack might be selling online right now. Bid is ending in, I don't know, like, let's pick a number, like bid is ending in 52 minutes, and looking at the product online with same day shipping, maybe the shipping would cost $15.99, like USPS, like flat rate shipping. Maybe that would be the cost. Maybe it would be still unopened, still in the plastic, the box not dented, like meets all the same criteria of the one you're just purchasing at the store. And you notice online it's about to sell in 52 minutes for, $90. And in the store, I'm just making something up right here. That's a fictitious number. That's not based on anything other than just my own, mind, just picking numbers. So say you see it in the store for $40, there's $90 online what it's selling for, and you notice there's like 115 people watching and like 35 people bidding. Only one person's gonna win that, and then that means there are 34 other people plus another 100 something people that can watch your same product that could bid, 32 other people that could bid on your same product. That would be one tip, of how to kind of test and see, like, what are we expecting here. If you don't know too much about the product, that's one way to check, is go through the store, go through the aisles, see what's there, see how many, what do you call it? So, when you have, for cards, they're either going to be in a box that has smaller kind of boxes or little booster packages of like 5 cards, 10 cards in it, right? Or maybe a 20 card little cardboard box, or like a big box that has like a bunch of boxes or little packets in it. Or you have the ones that are kind of the hanging ones, the ones that hang up. So you can look at the shelving, see what the stickers say there, look at the hanging products, see the stickers there. This is important. You want to look at the price tags. You want to look at the rate at which they're selling. So like I'm saying, I'm there on a Sunday, late afternoon, early evening. That's not the time when the shipments first come in. So, you can tell which ones have been purchased. You can tell which ones have maybe like 8 different hanger spots. That means that they're buying a lot of those products. If all those hanger spots are sold out, that means that item actually sells out. And you might not know how often they get shipped in. You can always call the store and ask, especially if it's that specific store. You can also check your specific area. So things like OfferUp, Let's Go, Mercari, even eBay, eBay pickups, and Facebook for people to pick up. That's like, if you want to take the shipping out of the picture, that means that's just local sales, testing your own local sales on an item that you can buy at like a Walmart or a Target, right? So, these are tips I'm giving away that are just like testing tips, right? You want to look at the item, you want to test the item. I'll give you a secret to how I've tested items before I even post it on there, before I finish this video, sorry. And, but I think that's all I have to say about that second type of product is, looking at the shelves, making a little video clip, organizing it in a way. Like you're gathering data here. Like this is live gathering data. This is before you've even gone online, right? But you can look just with your own like visual, do your own visual observational research. Look at the product on the shelving, how much shelving takes place. Some items you can tell if it's popular if you look in the kids sections, you look in the Lego section, you look in the video game section, you look in the little magazine and like popular reading section. And you can see certain themes keep coming up. Like today I saw a bunch of Halo stuff. I think most of the Halo stuff was sold out as far as like they had some good clearance on Halo Lego stuff. They had some Halo booster pack cards, stuff like that just sells really well. But yeah, you want to look at those hanger tags. You want to look at the shelf tags. You'll notice a lot of times it gets ripped off. So if you really want to be hardcore about it, sometimes they have that little computer inside the store that you can look on the computer inside the store. Sometimes they have little like you can log into the actual store website. So say if it's a Target, I can log into the specific Target's website, see what it says they have in stock on their site, see what's been selling out, look at it in person. You can compare it to Walmart. So Walmart, I noticed, I don't know if Target does this too, but Walmart actually they actually have other people selling stuff, which is something I noticed. If I wanted to purchase from Walmart's website, it has like an option to not buy it from the store, but to buy it from an outside online shop. And then the prices fluctuate within that. And so that's one thing to look at too, like comparing stores that are easy stores all over the nation for people to get into and to purchase from. Because if it's an obscure kind of shop and an obscure kind of item, it might be hard. I mean, I'm not saying those don't sell, but I'm just saying, like, when you're doing research type projects like this, that's one way to look at it. The observation aspect, I think, is so priceless and people don't use it often. But I would recommend using it. Know your product, know the day it ships in, know how much time you have to get it, know how fast it's selling, know what it sells for, know how fast it sells out. Learn kind of what it looks like on the shelving, like and what you're competing with in your local region, and then you're going to compare that outside. So you kind of start small, start local, start with observation, what you see with your own eyes, what you can actually physically touch with your hands. And especially if you're looking at like a store in a more populated region in like a major shopping center, they're gonna fully stock things versus like the little rinky-dink store that doesn't even have everything. They're gonna be a different type of stocking things. You can also search online by product for stores in your region sometimes. So say if I'm searching a product, a Pokemon booster pack product, I might not be able to find it at my store's website for Target, but I might be able to find it at a store that's maybe 30 minutes away on their site, and it says that it's there. It might be the same price, it might be a little more expensive, but you can still go and compare that price to what's actually selling. And you can do this live in the store while you're there. See, is there anything selling now? Are you going to buy this and is yours just going to sit in your bedroom unable to sell, just like all the other ones that are already listed? Like, you want to know what's happening in real time, because you want to post it up in competition. You want to post it up online for sale while other people are also selling it. If you're going to be the only one selling it, if you look and there's a bunch of buy it nows that are cheaper than what you're about to buy it for. So say if I'm going to buy a whole card box with like 100, 200 cards in it or so with Pokemon items and stuff, Pokemon cards, and it's selling for like $30 cheaper for the buy it nows, that means those people aren't selling them. And you want to look at why. So maybe the shipping is long, maybe it's shipping from China, maybe it's obvious arbitrage, maybe it's opened items, maybe it's damaged boxes, damaged items. You want to compare the ones that are actually selling that would be potentially what you would exactly sell. See how it's making a profit now before you go buying an item. I hardly will ever buy an item if I don't see it online in competition in that moment. I'd say the more are competing, or sorry, the more that are competing at one time, the more sellers that are competing at one time. It really gives you some clues and tips too. If you really want to wait a week, I mean, that might be the best strategy. I'm impatient. I like to go with my momentum and motivation. But if you want to wait a week, you can kind of learn trends of when your stores are selling things, like when most people are likely to buy stuff out of your store that you would be shopping in, when they're going to restock it. You know, when you're going to have money to buy the restocked items, how much those restocked items sell for locally and online, and does it fluctuate throughout the week? So it might be that, I don't know, people want certain Pokemon cards for the weekend, so they might be selling for same day shipping on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday way more expensive or way more often, or at a higher rate of sales than it would be if you were selling it on like a Sunday when people aren't gonna start their week out trying to play Pokemon, you know? So that's something to keep in mind. So I'm just giving away little tidbits on that. The third item that I want to get into, the third type of item, other than the, uncirculated banknotes, other than trading cards, playing cards, things like that, I'm really into gaming laptops, online gaming, PC gaming, for the most part, and then gaming laptops. And so one thing about gaming laptops is the market for them is usually good. Even if it's an old one, it kind of reaches a point where items do get obsolete. But with gaming laptops, I've noticed they tend to kind of hold their own in over time, longer than most types of laptops, other than like the MacBook. So MacBooks, MacBook Pros, MacBook Air, all those types of things, you can still get them for maybe even $30. It's cheap, but you can still get working ones. But when it comes to laptops, I like to sell gaming laptops because the value, the resale value, and and the market for those stronger, faster, better computers, they kind of wear less over time. They're built for heavier use. They have great graphics chips, usually CPUs. They're awesome. A lot of storage space, a lot of speed, a lot of different factors like how the fan blows out the air, or how the cooling system works, different things like the lighting up like the backlit keyboard, different mouse or trackpad kind of things that they've thought out about, like special trackpads and a lot more ports and things like that. These, I feel like they're thought out for the gamer. They're thought out for someone who's going to be on their computers doing some heavy work on there. So, and these computers can also cross over to like graphic design, video editing, photo editing, audio, like sound production, things like that. They have different features that other people who have other hobbies or work or jobs will be likely to want to purchase it for. One laptop I had, I can't remember the name, but it was a Dell, and it was for kind of like people who are into architecture. It was called like a workstation of some sort, but it wasn't the type with the handle. It was like a 17-inch monitor for the most part, backlit keyboard, full number pad. It was a little bulky, but I've actually had bulkier. I want to say I want to say it was an i5 processor. I can't remember. I haven't seen that thing in over a year. But yeah, it was basically for architects. And so it was like a workstation, a portable workstation for architects, but you could game on that thing pretty hardcore. It was pretty fast. Like it was good enough. I bought it for a couple $100, sold it at a profit. Sometimes what I like to do also is buying and reselling something that I know I can fix. So buying a laptop that needs a motherboard, buying a laptop that needs, a cable, a battery, just even if it's simply soldering on like a pin, for charging. They're different. There are a lot of different things you can do. So yeah, that's another project that I do. So those three project types make up the whole Game and Compute website, podcast, blogging, YouTube channel, everything. I'm in the process of still creating a lot of content, but I'm gonna make it as good as I can. And again, like I said, I do these like projects, and so yeah, I do them like a project. And so I basically did, like I said, like I have those research methods. And so let me give you some tips here now that we're at the end. If you made it this far, I mean, even if you scrolled all the way to the end, I'm not gonna hate on you for that. But yeah, I want to give away actual information without killing someone else's market. So I know a lot of times people complain, oh, it was like bait or like clickbait or like, I'm not here to try to just get people to listen. I want to provide value. I want to provide, enough information that you can actually apply these skills and get your own money. I really recommend finding a niche or a category of things that you know. I can't stress this enough. Stick with what you know. It's going to be a lot less work for you. You don't have to learn a whole entire item. Like, some things, like say if you know basketball really good, it might be easier to sell basketball cards because you know basketball. So you can flip through a Beckett, or you can flip through, I don't even know if they make Beckett's anymore. You can flip through a Beckett. You can flip through a magazine. You can flip through something like related to like shoes, Nikes, sports equipment, different kind of categories. If you're looking through those playing cards, if you're looking through like a book written by Michael Jordan, things like that, like you would know what someone would purchase versus, oh, this is crap, because you're in that kind of field. If it's something that's already a hobby and interest of yours, you're going to be more motivated too to want to work on these baby projects of yours, and like, oh, this is my baby, and like, this is fun, and like, I'm enjoying myself. It's a lot more fun and interesting when it's stuff that that you already spend time with. I would say definitely though, I can't stress this enough, separate your work or your projects from your actual fun and relaxation time. Separate it out. Don't make, oh, I'm gonna go online and research this while I'm, having fun watching a game. It's like, watch your game when you're watching your game. You might get ideas while you're watching your game. Always have somewhere where you can jot them down, come back to it. And then when you're working on your actual basketball related project, set aside time, set a space where you do it all the time. I know you've heard this all before, but I mean, the brain needs structure And the less time you waste in, organizing and getting your mindset right for working on a project, the easier it's going to feel, and the more rewards you're going to get from it, because you're not going to spend so much time and energy. You're going to notice, oh, that energy was spent towards actually learning drills or doing something related to basketball that I like or that I wanted to do for my own strength and my own interests, versus I'm trying to make cash. Like, cash is not that motivating, in all honesty. That sounds like a weird thing to say, because I know so many people are hurting for money, and so many people need money right now, like for survival. It's like legit survival mode right now. I get that. But money's not that motivating, especially if you have your basic needs met. Money's not going to be that motivating. For a lot of people, money isn't as motivating as their free time, as their independence, as their leisure. Money can be a motivator, but $20, $15 here or there, and doing all this time and effort for $15, $20 every so often, that usually for most people isn't that motivating, and people stop. So it's good to have an earning schedule. It's good to say, hey, I want to make $100 this week. How much time am I going to put in? So maybe I'd spend tonight organizing my notebook, maybe I'll spend tonight researching products online and just like taking my photos, making small video clips and posting it up over time. Maybe that's what I would do, right? So that kind of thing is really gonna be challenging. But trust me, it's gonna be more worth it. One tip I really wanted to give, I don't even know if I should give this tip out, because I feel like I've given it out before on another site, but that site I accidentally linked incorrectly, so it's linked to the wrong email address, and that bothers me so much, that because I need it to all be organized. I like every category of things I'm working on to be in that category, and I accidentally linked it to the wrong freaking email. So I'm kind of combining this specific project hobby site and sales site with the digital marketing related tips and tricks. So I would say one tip and trick, first of all, and I have to start it out saying this, first of all, take care of your customers. I work in mental health. I would say treat your customers like your patients. Treat your customers like your clients. My theory behind how to treat a customer, and I'm not saying I've been 100% good at this, but my theory is to treat them like they're your patient. So treat this person like the product you're selling, or the item that you are selling, is going to provide them some form of either comfort or entertainment or, education or athletic ability or something. It's going to help their lives get more value to them. And you are there as the vehicle to get that, experience to them. You want their purchase to be an experience. You want their shopping experience to be a whole part of the experience of your customer benefiting from being on your site, benefiting from listening to your podcast or watching your YouTube video. You want them to get something from it, right? So say, for example, I'm just going to use, and I'm going to get to a real tip here, but I have to say this first because I feel like I'm not judging people, but I say a lot of times people focus so much on making the money, they don't focus on how the people are treated. They focus on how can I get mine, right? So, for example, the reason why I'm saying all of this about treating customers well, is because a lot of times people get tricked into these or tempted. A lot of times a seller might get tempted into these scams or, you know, manipulations where it's like, I know how to make a couple extra bucks if I lie about this product, or I know how to make a couple extra bucks if I mislead about this product, or if I don't, you know, something that used to happen that no longer happens. If I act like I'm posting this product and someone buys it, and then a couple years ago, PayPal used to pay you just about the full amount of what the product is worth before it was even shipped. So people were posting stuff as if they had it and just collecting money and never shipping anything. Maybe they never even had the item. So that kind of thing, I would say steer clear of that, of scamming, of manipulation. You want your customers to have an experience almost as if they were your patient or your client. You want them to come out of that session feeling better, feeling, you know, hey, I got something out of this that's positive for me. You want it to be a give and take, right? So I want this person to buy from me. That's awesome, you know, but what am I giving them, right? I'm not just giving you a product that is making me money, right? I'm giving you an experience, and I'm giving you something beneficial to you to help you. And at the same time, you are paying for this service that I'm providing, which might just be an item. But I feel like people can make a website so much more than just an item. Like, I look at it, I read the description, I see a couple reviews, I click the thing and purchase, and it's coming in the mail starting tomorrow, and it'll get there in 3 to 5 days. That isn't necessarily what I would say is, I mean, yeah, it's straight to the point, but there's no real value there. I would say if you can add more value than that, more value than someone getting something either faster or cheaper than they would in their general region of the country, if it's not just faster or cheaper, what else are they getting, right? So I say all that to say, here's the main tip. The main tip would be, you can test your items by posting your item before you even purchase it, right? So say if I'm selling Pokemon cards and I don't know which ones to sell, I can post photos of unopened items from a store. Just post it up, you know, take off the barcode, just put a picture of it up there, see what bites back, see where you know, there's the bait out there is the item. See what kind of questions you get. Look at other reviews, see what kind of reviews people give. Look at, what would be another thing you'd want to look at? You'd want to look at so you put it as like maybe a bit for people to bid on the item. Let's say for 3 days for one item, for 5 days or 7 days for the next item. You want to see how long it takes for people to start watching your item, for people to start saving your item, bidding on your item, favoriting your item, whatever kind of information you can gather. How long does it take for it to even pop up on somebody's radar? How often are people even searching this thing? You get a lot of data by posting something, and this is before you even have purchased it to sell it. I just wouldn't recommend doing this if you're not doing it for the right reasons. If you're not doing it to gather data, if you're not doing it to actually have that product and sell it, if you're not doing it to benefit your customer, don't fucking do it. It's not okay to manipulate people just because you kind of, you know, have it in your mind that it's possible to make a profit. And again, these profits are usually $15, $20 profits. They're not like hundreds of thousands of dollars unless you're putting out money. The more money you put out, the more you're potentially going to get back. but it's also not a guarantee. So if I notice I'm testing items and they're hit or miss sales, I wouldn't recommend going out and buying like way more of them so that you can make a $300 profit. Another thing I would say, okay, here's another tip. When you're researching your items, research other people selling them, not just on eBay, but research YouTube, research other sellers' websites, your competitors' websites. A lot of times eBay, Walmart, if you look at the actual seller, you might see the same names popping up over and over again. And if you see like toys and games popping up all the time for Pokemon cards, they're probably one of the number one sellers. You want to look at that store, see what they have, see what they're doing. If you can find out where they're getting their products from, guys, you might have it made. If you can find out their shipping times and beat their shipping, if you can find out their costs, beat their costs, you're basically competing with the top seller. And if you make your experience better than the experience buying with them, you can take out their whole market. You can talk to these people's competitors. You can sorry, I mean their customers. You can see who's posting on their blog, who's posted reviews, who online is posting reviews. Talk to the people who are selling the products, right? You get more information from other people's websites than is probably even obvious. It's probably not that obvious, but you can get a whole lot. That's one thing you can get. You can get a lot of, I would say, one thing you can totally get is sorry, there's somebody walking up next to my car. You can get a whole lot of, data, research, gathering information. Some people say do that first. I'm not saying do it my way. I'm saying find your own route, find your own way, find your own path. But definitely keep your business genuine in nature. That will get you far. It'll get you very far. Because when you take an approach of, I'm doing this for someone else's benefit, there's something that changes in the universe, and you start getting more of the upper hand when you're not trying to just fuck somebody over and make a bill. You'll feel better about it. You'll stay more motivated towards it. People will actually reach out to you more. Yeah, so those are kind of my major tips. How to start a digital marketing type project. Those would be my major go-to steps. Now, I know I didn't put this all in like 1, 2, 3 step order. But I feel like the order I'm using is good enough. Is good enough for you to kind of get your feet wet. Some items you can honestly buy for like $4 or $5, so you can test items that way. I have a friend who goes to garage sales and yard sales and resells like electronics and things, Game Boys specifically, stuff like that. Things that are kind of timeless, things that still have resale value. If you know how to fix something and it's not going to take hours and hours, I mean, like, you want to think about, is your $20 profit going to take you hours and days and years, to fix it for $20? How much is $20 worth to you? $20 for me is worth driving to Target, picking up some stuff that looks like it's selling now on eBay, and then posting it online with some simple pics, and then selling it the next day in the store, shipping it the next day. So that would be worth it for me, for $20. What wouldn't be worth it for me would be doing all that, plus having to fix something, plus having to do this and that and that and this, and taking more than just the time I had mentioned, that wouldn't be worth it to me. I would also recommend, maybe not paying a bunch of people to do a whole bunch of stuff for you before you know your item's gonna sell. So start from the ground up. Start from like grassroots. Start from, start from lemonade stand mode. Okay, so start from, I literally have this thing that I'm making and selling, right? Start from that. Don't invest a lot, right? The reason why I call it lemonade stand mode, you don't invest a lot in a lemonade stand. You sit on a bucket and you use your mom and dad's table and you put out a little sign that you made and you buy some sugar and you buy, maybe if you don't have one, you buy some, I don't know, like a pitcher, some ice, I don't know, like packets of Kool-Aid, lemon Kool-Aid, or buy some actual lemons and use water and ice and make lemonade, right? All those items don't cost that much money. But what you don't want to do is, contact a company in China and make a lemonade brand and, have someone build you an expensive website and have some other person build you an expensive blog and have a different person build you an expensive YouTube channel and someone else build you a gigantic online store. And then you're making these lemonade things that you're supposed to be selling and nobody's even buying it. Like, you want to test simple and small and build your way up. If you get 1 or 2 sales in a week, if you have people begging you or asking you questions and you see that like your item's actually going to sell, then maybe, slowly invest in more. I actually wouldn't recommend investing past the amount that you've already made. So if you already have money to invest, that's going to be up to you. But if you don't have money yet, I would say once you get that money that you're going to invest, until you've made a profit and you can make enough profit to use that profit to buy more product, I would say don't do anything. Don't spend money if you're not making money. So yeah. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is beneficial for you guys. Just some tips and tricks to get started. And I'm going to post this up. And I hope that you guys can really enjoy the site. I'm excited about it. I don't have a whole lot of stuff posted yet. I'm going so slow on this, but I'm pretty motivated towards this project. So I'll be posting little by little, and as things go up and as my sales get going and changing throughout the next week or two, because I usually start early November, so it's November 1st today, so I'm starting today. But I've been researching for a good few weeks now, so let's get that money, guys. But have fun doing it. I know it's hard out there. But, if you can use the skills you have, use the strengths you have, go with that. Start with lemonade stand mode. Start with cleaning windows mode. Start with mowing lawns mode. I know everyone wants to make their money quick, but it's like, dude, even a $15-$20 profit, if you can find out how to make $15-$20 off of one thing in a day, that means you can duplicate it multiple times. If you can make $15 by doing 2 or 3 steps, that means that you can do those 2 or 3 steps 5 more times that week, right? And potentially make $15 5 more times. Again, it's not going to be 100%. There are going to be returns on items. There are going to be fucking scammers out there that are going to try and steal your stuff or, lie and say that you sent it or say that it got stolen in the mail or ask for a refund even though they got it, and say that it's damaged even though you know that it wasn't damaged on your end, or say they never got it even though you saw the tracking said it got to them. There are going to be scammers on the other end trying to make money off of you making an honest buck. And so pay attention to them. They might get in your way. Have a little bit of cushion. Know the rules with eBay and Amazon and wherever you sell. Know the rules. I really do recommend, if you want to go this far, taking a picture and a small video clip of any item that you're not willing to lose money on. So say if I'm trying to flip an item for a $20 profit, if I don't want to afford to lose that $20 profit, I'm taking a video clip of myself sealing that box with the undamaged item in it and with their address on it, and I'm taking another picture at the post office of the receipt with the box that is being sent out with the tracking, and that's all before I send it. And then I put it in the pile of things that the post office is going to send, and I know I did my due diligence. So that's one way so you can prove on your end, even though it takes time. I mean, how much time does that take? An extra like 2 minutes versus losing $20 after doing all that work. So, I mean, I would recommend just documenting everything. Pay attention to what you do as far as sales when it comes to taxes. Add tax in the sales price if you can, because you know who's coming after you. If you don't do that, they're gonna get their money. So you don't want to be fucked by tax season, and it's right around the corner again, guys. It's already like 6 months from April. So you know, you don't want to come April, after all your November, December, January sales, you leave it for a couple months, and the next thing you know, you owe thousands of dollars to the government. So you don't want to do that because you might not have the money by that time. So factoring in, guys, if you need to have like an S corp, if you need to have an LLC, learn about these things. I'm not gonna give extra advice on that because it's not really my place, because I'm not like, it's out of my scope. But I've dabbled with those things. I've dabbled with, you know, retirement funds and dividends and reinvesting money in different places. I'd say, you know, learn about it a little bit, but sometimes the best way to learn is by experience, and really, really document what it is that's going on. Try to find out your competitors' info, find out the store you're going to be shopping at. If it's a brick and mortar store, find out what it's like, what's easiest for you, when do they have the product, you know, when is it out of style, you know, like if after Christmas nobody's buying these things anymore, maybe don't buy them anymore to try to resell. But yeah, learn about the product. Go on YouTube channels and watch people who are really into whatever product you're selling. If they're really into Pokemon, start learning and reading and listening about Pokemon. Like, little bits of info pop out, and you can, you know, make your brand and make your online store and make your sales just that much more valuable. If you're basically paying attention to the market surrounding what you're actually selling, you want to know it like the back of your hand. You don't want to just be like, oh, I bought this car thinking I could fix it and flip it, and I don't even know anything about car mechanics, and I don't know anything about price ranges for used cars or reselling cars and all, you know, like don't start with a giant project that you know nothing about. Start small with something you know a lot about, and then build from there, and start as cheap as possible, guys. Lemonade stand style. Start with what you know. Even, you know, for example, if you're trying to sell electronics or something, sell stuff that is used already, that you have, that you don't want and don't need and will never use. If you're trying to get into selling iPhone 12 or something, sell some of your old iPhone accessories, and, you know, from iPhone 4, iPhone 6, iPhone 8, whatever, like sell your old stuff. Get into the game a little bit about the old products, see what that's like, make some extra money off of that. Just make some extra cash off of stuff you already have. But yeah, guys, I think that's the best I can do as far as how to start a side hustle project, kind of the things to look for. That would be my main methods. If I'm going into something cold and new and fresh, but it's something I have knowledge and experience with in my personal life, I would say, start looking around for something to sell and be patient. Don't spend a lot of money at once if you don't know it's going to sell. It's so easy to want to go in the store and be like, oh, I know this item's going to sell, because I would buy it, and then just buy like a couple $100 worth of something and then be like, dude, now I'm stuck with $200 worth of Pokemon cards I can't sell. Or try different strategies. Maybe if the booster pack doesn't sell, like open it up and check for valuable cards. Find different strategies. But you definitely want to know what other people are doing. You want to know what your competitors are doing. That is going to get you so far, guys. It's going to get you so far to understand your competitors. Get a notebook. Put info about your competitors in there. What's their website? How many hits do they get? How much are they selling? One thing to pay attention to, guys, when you're looking at like retail arbitrage or different kind of sites, especially people who have YouTube channels up, they tell you, oh, I made this much money and I made this much money. I made this much money. I made $1 million or whatever. And they show you the $1 million, but you're like, they never show you how much they spent. A lot of them don't. There are a few that I follow that definitely they will show you the whole process, as well as if they made money or lost money or what. But they tell you how much they spent, what the product is, everything. But some sites, they won't tell you. They won't tell you what the product is. They won't tell you how much they spent. They won't tell you how much they're getting in return. They only show you, I made $1 million this year. It's like, yeah, you made $1 million, but did you have any costs? Is that $1 million profit? Or you made $1 million and spent $800,000, so you only really made $200,000, which is still a lot of money, but I mean, like $1 million sounds better. And technically they did make $1 million. Another thing that I've seen people doing is going into those COVID type of small business type of stipends, going into that's for already established businesses, going into loans right now during COVID are so easy to get. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't have already a cushion to pay back the fees, but if you have a way to pay those fees back, I would maybe consider, and I can't give you guys like financial, legal, any type of advice like that, but I would just say, just brainstorming, if you really don't have the capital, you can get it through a loan, but I would say you got to work your tail off to try to make sure you're breaking even and then some. You want profit. You want to be able to pay those interests. You want to be able to pay those fees. If you take out a $1,200 loan that has a if it's like a payday loan or something for like $1,200, and it has $200-$300 payments twice, so it's twice a month. So say $600 you're paying on the $1,200 loan. It's like, if you're not making $600 or more a month, you're basically losing cash right there. So, say if you only make $100 a month, $100 a week, that's $400 in a week. $400, sorry, I can't talk straight. That's $400 in a month. And then you still have to have $600 to pay off that loan. So I would only recommend using loans if you have a method of paying it back very fast. Because if you think of it, a $1,200 loan that's supposed to last you like a year of $600 a month, that's 6 times 12. So that's 72, right? That's $7,200 on a $1,200 loan. You just lost, $7,000, versus making, off of a $1,200 loan versus making $100 profit off that loan, you're losing $7,000. So it's kind of like, if you can't pay it off, don't get it. Or get the lowest amount that you can actually pay off to start seeing profits if you're going to do it that way. So look at the numbers, look at the math. Don't be impulsive. Be as patient as you can. Everyone's doing this kind of stuff out of necessity, but I gotta say, try not to do it out of necessity, guys. I try to have fun with it as a project. I try not to do these types of things as a method to pay rent until or unless I really know what I'm doing. But until I really know, I'm not going to use my own hard-earned money too much into these projects. I would recommend getting another source of income, extra work or something like that. Or if you get a stipend check, or if you get Christmas money or birthday money or any kind of extra money that you didn't have to work for, or if it's part of your savings or part of your money that you've already saved to put aside for this. But I wouldn't recommend, risking your rent check to try to flip it real quick to, instead of paying like $1,000 rent on your studio, which is cheap out here in San Diego, instead of paying $1,000 rent on your studio, you want to take that $1,000 and try and flip it to like $1,500. Is like, maybe don't do it with the rent. Maybe do it with something else, especially right now because shipping is slow. With the elections coming up, who knows what the heck is going to happen. But yeah, guys, that's what I would recommend. So we're past an hour now. I'm going to get back into the house. It's almost 8 o'clock on Sunday, November 1st, 2020. I'm going to get back in the house. I'm going to try and, start on this project. I'm giving myself an hour and a half tonight after I have dinner to kind of jot down more of my plan for this week. I like doing it on Sundays because I'm most motivated on Sundays to do a lot of things that I'm never motivated to do for some reason. Something about Sundays just jumpstarts me. And I'm like, I want to do all this stuff. I think it's because I see like I have free time, and then I have the next day is like the start of the work week. So I know most of my energy is going to go towards my day job. So I start getting all like pumped up about like projects and stuff because I'm like, these are fun, but I don't have time for it right now. Or only have time for it right now. But yeah, guys, well, thanks so much for listening to this. If you have any questions or any tips or any feedback or constructive criticism for me, I'd like to know how to, make more value out of this podcast for everyone. I'd like to know how to better serve the listeners and the viewers and the shoppers and the gamers and those of you who have similar interests to me. I really want to know what it is that people think, what they want, what they need, how they feel about it all. I really appreciate anyone listening, commenting, liking things. Keep the lines of communication open with me so I can kind of know what you need, what you want. Yeah, but stick with me and, try your own projects. I have a lot of ideas coming up. This is just my first one. This is my way of documenting my projects. It's one of the easiest ways of documenting my projects. A lot of it's just raw. I don't really edit a whole lot because, it cuts into extra time. But I try to make these useful, informative. Hopefully it's not too dull and boring because I know I can get very monotone. Especially when I'm like talking in a way that I'm like thinking. And I know I can ramble and go off topic and go on tangents. So I'm trying to keep it concise and organized. Over an hour is not concise, and this was not organized, I know, but compared to other things, you guys would be surprised. This is way more organized than how I usually am. So again, I appreciate you listening. Any kind of engagement is much appreciated. I just want to know what you guys want to hear. I can put it out there in general. All right, guys, you take care. Bye.